Hello, students. Welcome to one of your last weeks here in Developmental Writing ENC 0026. We are coming up on the last couple of weeks for this course. So we are in week 11. And so I wanted to talk to you about a couple of things. There's a few important reminders. First, I'm not providing a PowerPoint this week. There is one under content, but this update is audio only. So please make sure that you are listening carefully and make note of the important dates and expectations that I'm about to review. This week, we are continuing to focus on the composing process, but we are also looking at drafting, revising, and reflection. I want to remind you of Anne Lamott's essay and the idea that strong writing does not happen in one perfect draft. Writing is a process. It takes time, revision, and lots of honest effort. I also want to remind you to keep using Harup's book and framework as you work. Just don't start your essays with questions. Through this book, she gives you a clear way to think about structure, development, organization, and clarity. And those are the things that you really should be paying attention to right now. So for this week, your goal is to apply Harup's framework to analyze the structure, clarity of a peer's argument essay. As you read your classmate's draft, I want you to look closely at how the essay is organized. I want you to ask yourself whether the thesis is clear, whether each paragraph stays focused, whether the ideas are explained fully, where the counterclaim is, whether it's easy to follow. You should be reading as if you are a real audience and giving feedback that will actually help the writer in the revision process. Also, you need to identify areas for strengths and areas for improvement in both your peer's draft and through the feedback from the peer that's reviewing yours, your own essay. That does not include the feedback that you are going to be getting from me. But that does mean your responses need to be very thoughtful, very specific, and a little bit longer than the 50 words that I've been seeing. A strong peer response does not simply say, "Good job," or "This looks fine." It needs to point to what's working well and what could be improved, because the goal overall is to help each other strengthen your essays before the final submission, which is coming up. That being said, it is critically important that you look at the rubric that I'm going to be grading you with for the final essay, because that will help guide you. And since we are not in person in class, it is imperative that you are focusing on what I'm looking for. After that, you're going to begin the revision process, and you'll use the feedback that you get from peer review. You'll use the feedback you get from me. It needs to be targeted revision, not surface level editing. Editing is different from revision. Revision might mean reworking your thesis, improving your paragraph structure, strengthening how you provide evidence, making sure that you have that one peer-reviewed source, as in from the SFSE library, clarifying the evidence, making sure your commentary is there, and making sure that your essay is more coherent overall. Additionally, you'll reflect on your own revision process through guided self-assessment. It matters because strong writers have to think about what they changed, why they changed it, and how those changes improve the essay. This will help you for your final week of class during the second week of May, 2 weeks from now. You'll have to do a final reflection, a final written reflection. And so you'll need to be thinking about what you changed, why you changed it, how the changes improve the essay, because reflection is a very important part of becoming a stronger and more independent writer. With that being said, your final essay, just a few important reminders, your final essay is going to be due on May the 5th. This is not a normal due date for you, so you need to make sure that you are planning accordingly. Please do not assume that you can wait until the last minute. The final essay submission folder opens on April 29th to give everyone a little bit of extra time to take the feedback from your peers, from me, into consideration, do your revisions, and prepare a stronger final draft and one that is more polished. Additionally, you should also be using this time to work on your digital portfolio, because that's also due on May the 5th, 2026, and opens on April 29th. In your digital portfolio, you'll be required to include a Dear Reader letter as part of it. And next week, I'm going to attach a sample portfolio for you to review so that you can see what the assignment should look like. Please, please, please do not procrastinate. You have some time left, but only if you use it wisely. I also want to address a couple of different things. I'm really not very happy with the amount of AI generated work I am seeing. I am not accusing everyone of using AI generated work, but I can certainly see that some people are using AI generated work. I can definitely tell when writing does not reflect a student's actual voice, effort, or process. AI can be used as a tool in limited and appropriate ways, and it can be used ethically. But to use it to complete your assignments, it is a violation of the SFSC Humanities Department expectations to submit original work that you have not completed on your own. This was in week 1 and was a required part of the first module. More importantly, when you turn in work that is genuinely not yours, you're not only undermining your own educational journey, you're also shortchanging the very skills that this course is meant to help you build. So with that being said, any work that is AI generated and submitted as your own will be handled according to SFSC policies. I need for you to please take that very seriously. If you are struggling, please reach out, ask for help, ask questions, email me, send me a text message. I can set up a Zoom with you during office hours, but please do not wait until the last minute and do not rely on something that prevents you from actually engaging in the learning process. Furthermore, as you revise, please remember that the Purdue OWL is a very good source for reviewing MLA formatting and citations. I'm still seeing some of the same issues with font size, with margins, with indents, all of these things, spacing. If you're unsure about how to format your works cited page, handle in-text citations, or how to set up your paper correctly in MLA style, the Purdue OWL is one of the first places that you should check because it is a fantastic resource. So that being said, to summarize this week, you should be focusing on 4 things. Using Harrop's framework to review a peer's essay, giving thoughtful feedback and identifying strengths and weaknesses, revising your own essay based on that feedback, and then continuing to work on that digital portfolio. If you will go back to week 1 or look at the course content under syllabus, you will see that the digital portfolio does count for a significant portion of your grade. So it is imperative that that assignment is completed, as well as the final essay. Please make sure that you stay on top of deadlines. Use the revision process seriously. Give yourself grace, but give yourself enough time to do the work well. I am seeing definitely some improvement in the writing, and you are most certainly getting there. I know some of you don't feel that you are learning a whole lot, and I am doing what I can with the videos and the PowerPoints and trying to give you as detailed feedback as possible. Some of you, I have a list, are missing several assignments, and that is adversely affecting your grade. I can't chase you down for assignments that you are missing, but if there were extenuating circumstances and you are unable to complete an assignment, I would urge you to please check the grade book to see what you are missing or what does not have a grade in it, and reach out to me because I can reopen assignments for you, and I want you to be successful in this course. So I'm not a monster, and I'm more than happy to assist you. However, it is important that you maintain deadlines for the course as well. So with that all being said, you do have another assignment this week. It is a discussion board, and that is your peer review. It is visible on week 11. You should be able to see it. There is a reading for the art of revision. There is a PowerPoint presentation that you can view. There's also a very short video that talks about it, the importance of revision, and then your peer edit discussion. So the peer edit discussion is where you will upload your rough draft into the discussion box. You will not upload a attachment. It is an opportunity for you to share your writing, and I know that is difficult to do because it is your writing. It is a collaborative workshop, and it takes place for being an in-person class, so it is important that you complete this assignment. You do need to engage with your classmates' writing, and you can't just say, "Great job." You need to be very real with them. Your rough draft has to have all of the elements. It has to be the argument. It has to be an approved topic from one of the 20 topics that I gave you several weeks ago. It needs to be written in your own voice. The biggest area that I see students struggle with is the peer responses. I realize that some of you, or most, if not all of you, are working and have other classes and other assignments as well. But when you take an online course, it is important that you manage your time well and that you are dedicating the time to the course that is required. And for every course that you take, you should plan to invest at least 3 to 4 hours per week in that course. And sometimes it's hard, but the way I personally manage it is I dedicate 20 to 30 minutes a day, every day of the week to my own coursework. So I hope that is maybe something helpful. One thing I want to add is if you don't respond to two of your classmates, it will impact your grade significantly, and your responses need to be substantial. And in the directions, it tells you exactly what areas to address, clarity, organization, development, the examples and evidence, grammar, of course, sentence clarity, wording, all the things that you've done grammar practices on. Be honest, be respectful, but please be helpful. The goal is to support each other as emerging writers. Like I said, this does require a little bit of vulnerability. Writing is a process. Sharing a rough draft means allowing others to see your work before it's finished. And so sometimes that can be tough. It is uncomfortable, but it is also an important part of growth as a writer. So approach both your own post and your responses to your classmates with seriousness, respect, and care. And again, just a reminder, the one thing I am adamant about is I do not reopen discussion boards after they close. So please do not wait until the last minute to post. Once you get your feedback from me, you can do some revisions on your paper as well, and then put it into the Dropbox, or not into the Dropbox, but into the discussion board to have a classmate view it. Also, if someone's essay has not yet been reviewed, then please, please, please take the time and give them some feedback. It is meant to reflect your own writing, your own feedback that you've gotten from me. It needs to show your individual thought process without using personal pronouns because it's an academic essay. If the writing does not reflect your own work, or it is vague, or it is unnatural, it will not earn full credit, and I will review it very, very closely. So those are just a few reminders about the discussion board. You should be able to find everything under week 11 with what you need to do. In week 12, we're going to review for the final exam. That will be my video for that. And then by then, you should be ready to hand in your final essay and be waiting anxiously for the feedback. One thing I will note is that the final exam is going to be during normal class time hours, which would be 5:30 in the evening. And I'm going to set it up with Honor Lock as well. If you have any questions about your final exam, please feel free to email me. Additionally, there will be a writing component that is also part of it that you will need to complete that during that time period as well. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. I'll be more than happy to answer it. If you do reach out to me during the school day, please note that I do teach classes all day long throughout the day. So I do not answer text messages until after 3:30 p.m. So if you can possibly wait until after then, I would greatly appreciate that because my daytime students deserve my full attention. Anyway, with that being said, I know that you guys are going to do a wonderful job. I have seen your growth. I'm very proud of your growth. I have seen some really great work from some of you, and writing is hard. It is a struggle. It is not an easy process, but you guys have come a long way since the first week, and we are in the home stretch, so don't give up now. Again, like I said, if you have any questions, my cell phone number is listed on the syllabus, and you can send me a text. Normally, the best way to get a hold of me is to send me an email because I can respond to that pretty quickly. I hope you guys have a great week. I wish you the best of luck with your peer review this week. Please, please make sure that you get it completed because it is going in the grade book and it is a very important grade. Additionally, you will have the opportunity to do a second revision on one of your assignments that you can upload. And that will give you not only some extra credit, but I can also change the original grade for you. So please be on the lookout for that as well, and any email and communication. I hope you guys have a fantastic week again, and I wish you the best of luck. And like I said, please reach out if you have questions. Thanks again.